Welcome to Unit 5, Lesson 6, Subtracting Rational Numbers. Today we're going to start with our warm-up, number talk, missing addend. So first you're going to solve each equation mentally, and then rewrite each equation as a subtraction equation. Pause the video now to take the time to do that. Welcome back. So if you were able to solve that, we're going to go ahead and just double check your answers. So we're starting with letter A. We have 247 plus C is going to equal 458, but we're going to actually subtract 247 from that. 8 minus 7 is 1, 5 minus 4 is 1, and 4 minus 2 is 2. So our C would equal 211. Letter B. So we have C plus 43.87 equals 58.92. So we're going to go ahead and subtract that, 43.87. All right, we can't take 7 away from 2, so we're going to have to borrow. That becomes an 8, and this is a 12. 12 minus 7 is 5. 8 minus 8 is 0. 8 minus 3 is 5. And 5 minus 4 is 1. So in this case, C equals 15.05. And let's just check out letter C. Ooh, this is written as eighths. So we can just subtract 15 eighths. So we can't do 1 minus 5. So this becomes a 4. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 4 minus 1 is 3. So we have 35 eighths. So C equals 35 eighths. Now, number 2 wants us to rewrite these as addition equations, as subtraction equations. So let's start with A. So we would take what we wrote over here and just turn that into the subtraction. So we would have 458 minus 247 equals 211. You can do the same thing for letter B. So we would have 58.92 minus 43.87 equals 1505. And then we can look at our last one, letter C. So letter C, we would have 51 eighths minus 15 eighths is equal to 35 eighths. All right, that was our warm-up. Let's move on to the next page. So a mountaineer is changing elevations. Write an expression that represents the difference between the final elevation and the beginning elevation. So we want the difference between the final elevation and the beginning elevation. So when we write our equation, we're going to have the final first and the beginning second. That'll be our second number. Then write the value of the change. The first one is done for us. Okay. So our first one, we had started at 400 and they went to 900. The difference between 900 and 400 is 500. So this next one, we would say 50 minus 400, and 50 minus 400 is a change of 350, but it would be a negative because our negative number is larger. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. We start at 400 and we end at negative 120. So again, we're going to put negative 120 minus 400. So our change in elevation is becoming more negative. And in this case, it would be negative 520. And we're going to do the same thing for the next few columns. So I want you to pause and try the last few on your own. And welcome back. So we have 610 minus negative 200. So that's a double negative, which means it's going to turn into an addition sentence. So 610 plus 200 is going to give us 810. Our next one, we have negative 50 minus negative 200. So again, we're going to change this to a positive because it's going more negative, and we're going to keep that sign. So negative 50 plus 200 is 150. The next one, our final elevation was negative 500 minus negative 200. How far apart are those? Negative 300. Okay, our final elevation was 0. We're subtracting 200. And we ended at 200 feet, positive. Let's turn the page. All right, so now we've got to find the value of each subtraction expression. So we're going to go ahead and solve the value of each of these. So 3 minus 2 is 1. 5 minus negative 9, that double negative means we're going to add. So 5 plus 9 is 14. Negative 11 minus 2, we're going more negative. Negative 13. Negative 6 minus negative 3, so we're really getting closer to 0. This would be negative 3. Negative 1.2 minus negative 3.6, so we're going to add closer. So let's see, 6 minus 2 is 4. 3 minus 1 is 2. This would be positive 2.4. And our next one, negative 2 1/2 minus negative 3 1/2. But we have a double negative, so that's going to be added. These halves are going to cancel themselves out. And then 3 minus 2, our answer would be 1. Moving on to column B, we have 2 minus 3. That's going to be more negative, and we're going to have negative 1. Negative 9 minus 5, we're going more negative. That's going to be negative 14. 2 minus negative 11, that's going to turn into a positive. 2 plus 11 is 13. Negative 3 minus negative 6. Again, that's going to turn into a positive. Negative 3 plus 6 is 3. Negative 3.6 minus negative 1.2. We're going to end up adding that. And we're going to have negative 2.4. And our last one, negative 3 1/2 minus negative 2 1/2. That becomes a positive. And we're going to have negative 1. So pause the video and take a moment to answer number 2. What did you notice about expressions in column A compared to column B? Pause the video now. Welcome back. So what are some of the things you noticed in column A compared to column B? Yeah, the answers are opposite. And the answers have the same absolute value. Excellent. All right. And what do you notice about their values? Oh, we kind of just answered that in the last one. They have the same absolute value. And if you forget what absolute value means, it's just the distance a number is away from 0. So -1 and 1 are the same distance from 0. 14 and -14 are the same distance from 0. The absolute value is always a positive number because it's just measuring the distance. And that is the end of this lesson. I will see you next time.